You guys ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Red Wilson Field. It's our second home game in a row as our game on the road versus Bourne last night was canceled due to rain. Games were canceled all across the league. Those will be made up later this week, but right now it's Father's Day, overcast, and the field is packed. It's Perri, Kitei alongside Luke Poley. We apologize for the technical difficulties today. We may not have access to a video feed, but we will do everything to keep you updated with how this game is going. Right now, it's Cal Stephen warming up on the mound for the Red Sox, who are on a 4-game winning streak. Coming into today, Luke, the last time these two teams faced, it was a 14-6 victory in favor of the Red Sox. The Commodores tied it up 5-5, and after that, YB just exploded. What do you think we'll see from them today?
Yeah, I think this is an offense that has really gotten going over this winning streak. I think nothing was more evident than that when they put up that big late 7-run inning against Falmouth to run away with that game. A lot of new guys in the lineup, really excited to see how they perform for YD. And Cal Stephen getting another appearance on the mound. Guy that is trying to right the ship after opening day. He had a decent outing.
Stephen throws a first pitch ball. In his first outing, he struggled through the first few innings to get his control, and then really settled in those later innings. Finds the strike zone for strike one. He's facing Joseph Redfield, who was recently added to the Commodores roster out of Sam Houston State. He was actually the door of the night in their last game, according to the Commodores staff. This one grounded up towards first. Hines has it, tosses it over to Stephen for out number one. Redfield had hit the go-ahead hit in the 8th inning of their win against Brewster on Friday. Brings up Kyle DeBarge, also a new addition to the roster. DeBarge plays at Louisiana Lafayette. He launches a first pitch strike down the pipe. Batting .371 with 15 doubles and 7 home runs this season. This one grounded foul sharply up the third base line. He faces an 0-2 count early. The YD infield on the edge of that outfield grass, including Hines and Xander Darby at third. Some new additions to the Red Sox lineup as well. That's Xander Darby out of UC Santa Barbara on third. Jacob Jenkins Cowart out of East Carolina in left field. Apodaca in center. Casey Cook in right, as he has been. Ryan Stafford, first appearance behind the plate. Called strike 3, and Stephen has a strikeout early. Face 2 batters, 2 outs now. And Cal Stevens' first strikeout of the game. This one is looking.
Yeah, I hope Cal Stephen can get to it early. You mentioned in that first outing that he had, it's a little bit rough for him in the early part of it before he settled in. Even hoping that he can get to that mid-game form right off the top here in the second appearance.
Condon's first pitch fouled back into the net for strike 1. Condon's the first baseman out of Georgia. Had a phenomenal freshman season. Chopped this one up the middle. A liner caught by Max Vieira. The shift works perfectly. It was actually Brady Day, the second baseman, who had moved to the left side of second base, and he was right there for that liner. 1, 2, 3 goes the Commodores, and we head to the bottom of the first inning on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network.
1.
Casey Cook back in the leadoff spot for the Red Sox as they head to the plate for the first time here in the bottom of the first. On the mound for the Commodores, it's Carson Montgomery. Montgomery plays at Florida State, and he was number 34 on MLB Pipeline's top 200 list for the 2023 MLB draft. Tosses ball one high, fastball swept across the plate. Cook out of North Carolina, just finished his sophomore year. Ball 2. Montgomery has a fastball up in that upper 90s and a mid-80s slider. Cook flies this one into foul territory, strike 1. Montgomery played 1 game for Falmouth in 2022 as a temp player. And ball 3 is high, so Casey Cook, the leadoff, facing a 3-1 count to start things off. Cook rips this up towards second, but Keelan is there for out number 1. Very hard hit ball, but right over to Gavin Keelan. Just tossed it to Condon for out number 1. Solid contact and not great placement brings up Anthony Martinez, his first at-bat for the Red Sox. Plays at UC Irvine, just finished up his freshman year. Out of high school, he was the 2022 Max Preps NorCal Player of the Year. He is one of many California players to find their way onto this roster, thanks to Scott Pickler, who coaches out in the West. This one popped up into foul territory and out of play. One and one count to Martinez. Bases empty, 1 out. Fouled back into the fence. YD is on a 4-game win streak after a dramatic comeback walk-off victory in the bottom of the 9th inning on Friday. Count evens up 2-2. YD found themselves facing a 6-3 deficit in the bottom of the 9th, came back, put 4 runs on thanks to a walk-off and an error. This one popped up again into foul territory. And at the end, it was Jacob Christian, the D2 Player of the Year, who walked things off for the Red Sox to keep that streak going. They now sit atop the West Conference after a Brewster loss. Martinez continues to foul these back, making his first at-bat a lengthy one. He's about to face his 7th pitch of the at-bat. High, ball 3, count runs full. Foul ball number 5 from Martinez makes this at-bat go even longer. Martinez is a first-generation college student. His younger sibling, Angelo, also plays baseball. Takes ball 4 outside, and he'll trot to first. Went down in the count early, battled off those foul balls, and the Red Sox have their first base runner. Brings up Max Vieira out of Seton Hall. He has been a staple in this YD lineup. He's batting .444. That's good for 12 for 27, racking up those hit numbers early. He has 2 doubles, 6 RBI, and just 2 strikeouts in those 27 at-bats. Very solid season for Vieira so far. He watches strike 1, a fastball down the pipe. Montgomery is actually Florida State's highest ever MLB draft prospect. With that draft in the middle of the summer, he likely won't be here come playoff time. Strike 2, a nice breaking ball, finds that inside corner. Vieira down 0-2. Martinez on first. Takes a small lead. Montgomery looks over, barely checks him. Not concerned about the steal. And Vieira ropes this one into right field. That's a base hit. Martinez safely takes second. Just a nice hit grounder just through that 3-4 gap next to first base. YD, their first runner in scoring position, still just one out with Hunter Hines, RBI machine at the plate. Hines, the first team All-SEC selection in that designated hitter position, has also been phenomenal. He's batting .400 with 10 hits and 25 at-bats. He has 7 RBI, leads the team, and takes ball 1. Hines has 10 hits, 4 of those have been extra base hits, 3 doubles, and a home run. He is YD's best power hitter and has become a staple in this cleanup spot. Vieira on first, Martinez on second, and Hines send this one way deep towards left field, and it's out of here. Over the right field wall, Hunter Hines' second home run of the season clears the bases, and the Red Sox lead 3-0 in the bottom of the first inning.
Another one absolutely hammered by Hines. And don't let him come up to the plate with runners on base. He has been an absolute machine for this Red Sox team this season, and continuing the trend, this YD squad of taking an early lead right to it here in the first.
Hines now joins Nathan Archer as the only other Red Sox to have 2 home runs this season, the first to reach double-digit RBI. And Stafford takes ball 1 over his head. Montgomery just left that one over the plate a little too long, and Hines will take advantage of that every time. Stafford, a line drive into left field. Hits are coming in now for the Red Sox. Takes a big turn around first base, but holds up. And Xander Darby stepping up for his first at-bat for the Red Sox this season. This is his first day in the lineup as an active player. Has some nice blue matching sliding gloves, elbow guard, and shin guard going on in those UC Santa Barbara colors, the Gauchos, one of my favorite NCAA mascots. Luke, I know you have a penchant for NCAA mascots. Where does the Gauchos rank on your list?
It's high. It's very high. All the UC schools have good mascots. Santa Barbara, the Gauchos is just a good one. UC Santa Cruz is my favorite of all the UCs, but they are not Division I. They're the Banana Slugs.
An early mound visit for Montgomery from head coach Jeff Trundy. Trundy with 492 career regular season wins in the CCBL. He's looking to reach that 500 mark this season. He reached 500 total last season, including postseason wins. Darby just finished up his sophomore year at UC Santa Barbara. Stands at 6'3" in that lefty batter's box. Hit .288. 62 hits total on the season. He has Stafford on first. Huge swing and a miss for strike 1. Darby is a native of Palo Alto, California, right out by Stanford University. He hit for 21 extra base hits, 7 of those home runs, 11 doubles, and 3 triples. This shows you his speed. Also had 8 stolen bases on the year. Small lead from Stafford, swings through strike 2. Still just 1 out for the Red Sox. They lead 3-0 in the bottom of the first after a 3-run homer from Hunter Hines. Cal Steven worked his way through the Commodores lineup quickly. Runner goes with the balls in the dirt, and Yannick holds off. So Darby advances. It wasn't quite a passed ball, but just got out of the glove of Yannick. Heads up base running from Darby. Puts him on second base.
Yeah, it took a big secondary, and as soon as that ball felt the dirt, it just took off.
It's actually Stafford on first, confusing my base runner and my batter. Darby's in the batter's box. Stafford successfully on first. The 2-2 pitch on the way. This one blew towards right field, and the diving catch is made by Jace Lavalette out of Texas A&M University. Got a good jump on that, laid out, kept it in front, makes the diving grab. Stafford held up at second. That's the second out of the inning. And Jacob Jenkins cowered up for his first time around. The East Carolina University product, one of YD's highest ranked recruits of the season. Another lefty facing a righty pitcher. Goes after the first one. It's hit deep towards center field, going back to the wall. But Spikerman is there just in front of where the warning track would be. Exciting off the back from Coert, but just can't make it to the fence. And that's the inning. But the Red Sox head to the top of the second, leading 3-0 after that home run from Hunter Hines. It'll be 4-5-6 for the Commodores when we come back on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network.
Oh, sorry.
Jace Lavalette, who made that diving catch out in left field, is up for the Commodores. Swings through for strike one. He's a product of Texas A&M, who's an SEC All-Freshman team selection and a first-team freshman All-American this season. Nice pitch from Cal Steven. Finds the bottom of his own, strike two. Ball one in the dirt outside. Lavalette was the SEC Player of the Week the last week of the regular season. On May 22nd, had a very solid season all around, batted .287 with 63 RBI. Also walked 48 times. This one ripped into left field, but it drops foul. First solid contact from Lavalette we've seen. Steven, very calm and collected, has been ahead mostly in these counts to start things off. Had a 1-2-3 inning in the first. It's the top of the second. Red Sox lead 3-0. Ball 2 misses inside. No base runners yet for the Commodores. 3 hits already in the top of the first, in the bottom of that first inning for the Red Sox. Swings through, drop third strike. Stafford makes the play at first, out number 1. Brings up Walter Yannick, the catcher, on that right side. Takes a big practice cut. Cal Stevens so far has retired his first 4. Stevens kicks aside some dirt on the mound. Yannick holds off on a curveball above the zone.
Walker Yannick, named to the Buster Posey Award watch list last season, named after the great San Francisco Giant and great former YD Red Sox catcher.
This one's popped up into foul territory, out of play. Count evens up, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out for the Commodores in the top of the second, where they trail the Red Sox 3-0.
Posey, perhaps the most successful major leaguer to come out of YD.
Swing and a miss, strike 2 from Yannick. He's batting in the 5 spot today. Was a relatively recent addition to the lineup. Swings through again, strike 3. Strikeout number 3 for Cal Stevens in just the second inning. Commodore's 6th spot is Deuce Gorson out of UCLA. A lefty facing a righty pitcher. Steven, the pitch. Swing, miss. Strike 1. This is Gorson's first at-bat as a Commodore. Ball 1 misses low, counts 1-1. 2 outs, base is empty. Cal Stevens on the mound for the Red Sox. They lead 3-0. It's the top of the second inning at Red Wilson Field. Strike 1 finds the zone. Strike 2. Counts 1-2, 2 outs. No hits or base runners yet. Stevens has retired 5 in a row to start things off. Gorson swings through, strike 3, 3 strikeouts in the inning for Cal Stevens. And the Red Sox will go 8-9-1 when we come back. For the bottom of the second, they lead 3-0. It's Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Bottom of the second here at Red Wilson Field, where the Red Sox lead the Falmouth Commodores 3-0. And Brady Day in the 8th spot up for his first time around, facing Carson Montgomery, the Florida State prospect. 3 hits for the Red Sox in the first inning as they continue their hot streak at the plate. The Red Sox have been phenomenal, recording double-digit hits in their last 4 games, all wins in a row. Day hammers is out towards right field, but it's popped up too high in the air, camped under it. Redfield makes the catch. Solid contact off the bat, but just too much air underneath it. So Day, a long fly out in right field. It's out number 1.
Yeah, Day got ahead of the count, got a pitch he liked up high in the zone, but like you said, just got under it a little bit. Still carried pretty deep in the outfield, but didn't get full barrel on that.
Enzo Apodaca, now his first time around at the 9th spot, one of the hotter hitters. For YD, he's 5 for 15. That's good for a .333 average. To start things off, has been hitting very well in the last few games in particular. This one fouled back out of play, counts even at 1. Apodaca has been crucial in the field for the Red Sox, has made a few incredible plays in center, left, and right. He's played all over that outfield for these first few games. Ball 2 misses outside. Counts 2-1, 1 out to Enzo Apodaca. Red Sox lead 3-0 in the bottom of the second. There's a shift on for Apodaca. Everyone on the side of second base. He might beat the shift, send a blooper towards center field, but sprinting over to make the play is John Spikerman. So he did hit to the left side of the bag, but Spikerman out in center was there regardless. 2 up, 2 down for the Red Sox, and they've turned the order over already. It's Casey Cook back for his second time around. Strike 1 finds the zone. Cook 0 for 1, ground out in his first at-bat. Ball 1 almost hits him, but he avoids it. Cook is 4 for 12 with 4 RBI in his season as a member of the Red Sox so far. Has come up big in some pretty high stakes moments, including with a bases clearing 3 RBI double against the Commodores in the Red Sox win. Strike 2 finds the zone. Count evens up 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Montgomery, the 2-2. Inside, ball 3, count runs full. Just the second full count we've seen all day. Ball 4 misses upstairs, and Cook is on base for the first time today. Brings up Anthony Martinez.
It's a really tough take with 2 strikes. It's that slider that's got some sharpness to it. It has some very late action. Nearly ducked into that outside corner. Cook watched it go by. Did not miss by much.
It's a pitch that on any day could really go either way, but first home plate umpire Jeffrey Merzel decided to give YD the bat, so Cook a strong lead on first as Martinez, who also walked in his first at-bat, is back for his second go-around. With Cook on the bat, YD has base runners in the first 2 innings so far. Swing and a miss from Martinez, strike 2. Cook ready to run. Martinez fouls it out of play. That one was popped up towards the left side of the field. Counts 1-2 to Martinez. Cook on first. Red Sox lead 3-0. Bottom of the second. Red Wilson Field. Ball 2 misses outside. The 2-2. Outside again, ball 3. Luke, these lengthy batters have displayed so much patience and discipline at the plate.
Yeah, it's a really similar pitch to the one that Cook just took for ball 4 earlier on, a slider up and away.
Cook a huge lead on first. Runner goes. Doesn't matter anyways. Ball 4 outside. Martinez walks for the second time today. Bringing up Max Vieira, who singled in his first at-bat with a very hard-hit grounder in between first and second base. Hines, who had that 3-run blast to put the Red Sox in the lead, is on deck if we can get there. There's a quick mound visit coming for Montgomery. His second so far in as many innings.
Lefty warming in the Falmouth bullpen. This is not a day, especially after the league-wide rainout yesterday. So now the coach goes back to the dugout. This isn't a day where you want to stress out your bullpen and use a bunch of guys because of that cancellation yesterday. You're not going to get an off day now for over a week, so don't want to start things off on the wrong foot and eat your way through the bullpen, having to pull your starter early.
Montgomery checks his runner's first pitch on the way. Vieira holds. Does not go around. Ball 1. Cook on second. Martinez on first. Healthy leads from both of them. 1-0 count to Max Vieira. Montgomery checks and deals. Vieira pops this one up behind the plate. Yannick has a play at it and makes the catch just before the backstop. That will end the inning. 2 base runners, both from walks for the Red Sox. They still lead 3-0 as we head to the top of the third on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Back for the top of the third as the Commodores look to eat into the Red Sox lead. They lead 3-0 here at Red Wilson Field on a very cloudy Father's Day. The field is packed as you could expect, with people all around, even behind the fence in the outfield. Stevens' first pitch on the way, popped up towards left field, sprinting over as Jenkins Cowart lands in foul territory over in the bullpen. No play on that yet.
So Spikerman down in the count, 0-1. This is his first day as a Commodore. John Spikerman plays at Oklahoma. He's a Sooner. This one flat fouled out of play as well. Solid contact on the first two. Both way out of fair territory on that left side. Steven nods at the call from Stafford. And ball one is outside.
And don't know if you're Steven here, if you give him really anything to swing at again, you might try to just bury something and get another swing and miss with the way you've been rolling through.
This one lined up the middle, coming over. Jenkins Cowart makes the grab, out number one. Looks like it might drop shorter, but ended up traveling quite a fair bit into the middle of that outfield. And after a short trot from Jenkins Cowart, had plenty of time to make the grab. Steven has officially retired the first 7 that he's faced. Now it's Nathan Humphreys trying to break that streak. He takes ball one. Humphreys out of Dallas Baptist, batted .351 this season. A native of Midlothian, Texas. Nice breaking ball from Steven, finds the outside, strike one. Humphreys, an interesting stance, that bat parallel to the ground. Fouls it off the head of Ryan Stafford. His shoulders are really hunched far over that plate. Not as much bend in the knees as there is at the hips. This time the bat completely straight up, now goes back into that parallel wagging motion. Pitch from Steven on the way, swings through, strike three. Another strikeout for Cal Steven. That's his 4th in a row.
Yeah, he's been dealing his way through this lineup. He's now got 5 strikeouts, just 8 hitters into this game, and Steven looking a lot more comfortable than he did to start off that first outing. Really looks like he's settled in nicely to begin this one.
It's actually 4 of the last 5. This one grounded up the middle, and that gets through for a base hit. Gavin Keelan in the 9th spot finally gives the Commodores their first base runner, attacks the first pitch. Steven was in position but couldn't get a glove on it because of how hard it was hit. So Gavin Keelan, the first base runner for the Commodores, and turns the lineup over to Joseph Redfield. Keelan on first. It's 3-0 YD. Joseph Redfield grounded out in his first appearance. YD infield backed up on the edge of that grass, except for Hines, who's coming first. Runner goes, throw on the way from Stafford. In time, and the runner is out. A beautiful, beautiful throwdown from Ryan Stafford. Bounces once perfectly into the glove of Vieira, puts on the tag. Beat him by a foot, and that's the side. We head to the bottom of the 3rd at Red Wilson Field, and the Red Sox going 4-5-6 when we come back on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. New pitcher on the mound just in time to face Hunter Hines. It's Logan Van Treek out of Lipscomb. Pitches ball one low to Hines, who had a monster home run, his second of the season. Favors that right center wall. That's where both of them have gone yard. Huge cut, misses for strike one. Van Treek had a pretty good season at Lipscomb this year, but more importantly, pitched over 80 innings, 88.1 actually, with 108 strikeouts and just 14 walks. Counts 2-1 after ball two is in the grass, not even the dirt, in front of Hines. Hines grounds it up towards second, picked up by Keelan, over to Condon, out number one.
Next up, out of Cal Poly, number 7, Ryan Stafford.
Ryan Stafford, the catcher, back at the plate. He hit a single in his first at-bat, a solid hit ball towards left field. Jumped right over the gap between DeBarge and Deuce. Takes ball one, counts 1-0. Van Treek deals this one, hit hard out towards left field. And misses foul, just on the wrong side of that foul pole, but that ball was absolutely clobbered from Stafford.
That ball, it was well foul, but it's about 50 feet beyond the fence.
Stafford just gets a piece to stay alive. No runners aboard. YD leads 3-0. Bottom of the third. Van Treek deals, and Stafford rips it through. It's picked up by DeBarge at shortstop, but he has no play on it. An infield single for Ryan Stafford. That one, a hard hit ball on the ground. DeBarge picks it up right at the edge of the outfield grass. Moving over on it, had no play over to first. So Stafford 2 for 2 on the day. Xander Darby popped it up and out, his first at-bat. Yannick threatens at a pickoff towards first. Stafford hastily retreats. Counts 1-0 to Darby. Ball two breaks across the plate, misses outside. Small lead from Stafford on first. Van Treek deals, runner goes, throws on the way, and Stafford in there with plenty of time. I actually thought that Yannick wasn't going to throw the ball. It looked like he just was going to stand up and take it. Stafford had a pretty good jump on that. Instead, goes for the late throw, sails it over the head of DeBarge into the outfield. Stafford considered taking another, but decided better.
Yeah, he's lucky he had backup. Stafford really could have gone 2 bases there. It was an ill-advised attempt to throw. Like you said, he looked like he was just going to eat it.
Strike two finds the zone, counts 2-2 on Darby. 1 out. Ryan Stafford, the catcher. A lot of speed for a catcher over on second base after a successful steal attempt. Darby swings through, misses. Strike number 3. Van Treek's first strikeout of the day. Puts a second out on the board for Jenkins Cowart's second at bat as he strolls back to that lefty batter's box.
Number 19, Jacob Jenkins Coward.
Jenkins Cowart had a deep fly out in his first at bat, thought it might reach the fence, instead stopped just short. This time a nice off speed finds the zone for strike one. Brady Day on deck if it gets there. Ball two misses outside. Pitch on the way. Almost hits him. Cohort backs up. Counts 2-1, 2 outs. Red Sox lead 3-0, bottom of the third. Cohort grounds it up towards first, collected by Condon, who jogs over, taps first base for out number 3. Scoreless through the third for both teams. We head to the top of the fourth. It's Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network.
Top of the fourth inning here from Red Wilson Field. Luke West Poley, Perri Kitei alongside. Top of the order coming up for the Falmouth Commodores, trailing YD by a 3-0 score. One hit first time through the lineup. That came from Gavin Keelan in the 9-hole. Cal Steven back on the mound. He's faced the minimum as Keelan was thrown out stealing to retire the last side. First pitch on the way. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball down low for strike one. YD has brought 3 to the right side of the infield in a shift as they have throughout the early part of this game. 5 strikeouts so far, 4 swinging, 1 looking from Cal Steven from the wind, 0-1. Slider in the dirt, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Steven, the Purdue Boilermaker, mentioned his shaky start in his first outing, but righted the ship in the later part of that. Here he's been ready right from the jump. 1-1 pitch. Slider away, 2 balls and a strike. Joseph Redfield at the plate, grounded out to first base to begin this game. Hunter Hines over there occupying that spot for YD. He's driven in all 3 runs this game has seen. 2-1 pitch. Just misses below the zone for ball 3. Now YD's going to have 2 of their infielders switch spots as Darby moves to the right side and Biera moves back to the left for this 3-1 offering. Here it comes. Clips the corner for strike 2, and the count is full. Redfield takes a second, stepping out of the box and now back in. The left-handed swinger twirls the bat and readies up. Steven lifts the knee. The pitch. Down low, ball 4. So Redfield never had to swing the bat. And he works a walk. That's the first dealt out by Cal Steven. So we're now through the order once. And Joseph Redfield, who was in the 1 spot, works the walk. Kyle DeBarge to the plate. Struck out looking back in the first inning. Wiggling the bat, the first pitch from Steven. Broken bat, slow grounder over to short, charging in. Vieira sidearms to first, and it is not in time. It's beaten out by DeBarge for an infield hit. Bat shattered into a million pieces, and it slow rolled on the grass just enough that it beat out the cannon arm of Vieira from short.
The YD infield was so backed up on the grass, and that ball was so deceptive because of the broken bat. It really got caught up on the grass, was moving slowly. There was no chance at the out at first, and Vieira, throwing even out of the slot, couldn't get Redfield or DeBarge over at first.
Charlie Condon now at the plate. From the stretch, Steven fires home. Slider inside for ball one. Condon hitting .320 in this early part of the season with 1 home run. Came against YD. Clouds covering the sky here from Merrill Red Wilson. Front foot offset towards third. Steven deals the 1-0. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball that finishes down. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's no surprise DeBarge beat that out to first. He was sprinting down the baseline. He had 18 stolen bases for the Louisiana Lafayette Raging Cajuns this season.
Steven takes a breath, looks at second, and a 2-step lead for Redfield. He hops around now, trying to mess with his head. Now the 1-1 pitch. Bumper up the middle. Steven fields, pumps towards third, instead turns around and whips to first for the out. Both runners will move up, essentially serving as a sacrifice swinging bunt there for Charlie Condon, who's gunned down 1-3. And there's 2 in scoring position with 1 out for Jace Lavalette. 3-0 score, YD leading in the top of the 4th inning against Falmouth. Second meeting of the season between these two teams. First here at Red Wilson. Another one came out west at Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth. Red Sox victors in that one after a big late inning. Lavalette, the left-handed cleanup hitter, watches a shift for the Red Sox that brings 3 on the right side of the infield. First pitch. Slides in between the legs of Stafford. He squeezes it and holds the runners. Ball 1. Lavalette struck out swinging, the first of 3 straight to K the side by Cal Steven in the top of the second. Steven still out of the stretch, the 1-0. Check swing foul ball. Rolls over towards the exposed bleachers on the left side.
You could see Lavalette grimace at that, tried to check his swing, instead fouled it off. Just unfortunate placement, but that's a strike he wish he had back.
1 ball and 1 strike to Jace Lavalette. First the Red Sox have seen of him, Texas A&M Aggie. The pitch. Grounder over towards an unexposed shortstop. There is nobody there as a run comes in to score, rounding third and coming in to score as well. DeBarge is in safely. There was no one there for YD as Max Vieira was covering the bag. It's a 2-run single for Jace Lavalette. And it's a 3-2 ball game in the 4th.
That should have been a routine ground ball. Instead, a 2 RBI single for Lavalette. And the score is 3-2 here at Red Wilson Field.
Unoccupied. I misspoke previously. That ball was hit right at where Max Vieira is currently standing. Now a runner on first for Walker Yannick. First pitch. Slides away for ball 1. So Lavalette gets a couple of RBIs to his name. His first 2 of the season for Falmouth in just his second game following an 0-for-4 performance in his first appearance. Very small lead on first. 1-0 to Yannick. Goes after it, lifts it up foul right side and out of play. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Sky looks very menacing above the field right now, threatening to storm, but forecasts say not really any chance of rain here in South Yarmouth. 1-1 pitch. This one hit well out towards center. Apodaca floating back now comes in at the track and makes the catch running in. Lavalette back to first. And maybe some mind games from Enzo Apodaca. A bit of a deke job there as he ran all the way back to the wall before coming in about 6 or 7 steps to make that play. 2 gone.
That ball had a good 3 seconds where it hung up in the air. It was absolutely skied, and Apodaca, as you said, took those first few steps back, but eventually that ball made its way right towards the middle of the outfield. Didn't end up traveling very deep.
Ethan Gorson now at the plate with a runner on first and 2 out in a 3-2 game led by YD. Snap throw to first is bounced in. Hunter Hines just knocks it down with his chest and scoops it up off the dirt. Gorson was the final strikeout of the top of the 2nd inning, which Falmouth went down in order. Steven nods. Now deals the first pitch. Backdoors into the outside corner for strike 1. There's some pitchers that are stretching out. And looks like foam rolling out there in the YD bullpen, but nobody's throwing. Right now this is Cal Stevens' game. 0-1 pitch. Check swing, misses below the zone. It's had some sinking action to it, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Stevens been doing a very good job so far as well. Without that shift, that single would not have knocked in as many runs as it did.
Snaps another one over to first. Steven went 4 innings on opening day against Harwich. He's through 3 2/3 right now.
He has 5 strikeouts, 2 looking, 3 swinging.
Runner bluffs, 1-1 is swung on and missed on a big hack there by Gorson for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 out in the top of the 4th inning from Red Wilson Field in South Yarmouth. Look over at first, and now the hold by Steven. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Cal Steven limits the damage and gets another strikeout as that retires the side in the top of the 4th. Falmouth inches closer. It's 3-2 as we head to the home half. You're listening to YD Red Sox baseball here on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Last of the 4th here from Red Wilson Field. Luke West Poley, Perri Kitei alongside. 3-2 is our score with the YD Red Sox leading the Falmouth Commodores. Thanks so much for joining us, and happy Father's Day to those listening in wherever you may be. Brady Day leading off for YD in the 8th spot in the order. He's 0 for 1 with a flyout. Returning to the mound, Van Treek's first pitch. Low and away for ball 1. Had some fathers of players that were in town throw out the first pitch. Really, really good crowd here at Red Wilson on this Sunday. 1-0. Lined over to second, caught by Keelan, who was right there to make the play. And there's 1 gone in the bottom of the 4th.
Again, hard contact from Day. Just can't find the gaps so far. Van Treek is on the mound for the Commodores because starter Carson Montgomery only went 2 innings before he was pulled.
Enzo Apodaca standing into the left-handed box. First pitch to him. Lifted out into shallow left field. Lavalette coming on towards the line, makes the catch. And just 3 pitches and 2 outs now as that turns the YD lineup over to Casey Cook.
Next up, out of UNC Chapel Hill, number 16, Casey.
Cook is 0 for 1 with a walk. YD offense has slowed down a little bit after a 3-run first. Falmouth has answered with 2 here in this fourth. As the YD lead has fallen down to 1. First pitch to Cook. Just off the corner for ball 1. Yannick tried his best to frame it, but did not fool the home plate umpire, Jeffrey Marzell. 1 ball and no strikes. Outfield shaded towards the opposite field for Cook. The pitch hits sky high, left field, coming in Lavalette, and short of the infield will put it away for out number 3. So YD goes quickly in the fourth, and it's 3-2 with the Red Sox out in front of Falmouth as we head to inning number 5. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Cape Cod Healthcare is proud to be the official healthcare sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. When you need to be seen quickly for a minor illness or injury, Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care offers a convenient and cost-effective treatment option with 6 locations across Cape Cod from Falmouth to Orleans. Open daily with no appointment needed and staffed by board-certified ER providers. View wait times at capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care, minor emergencies, major attention. Top of the 5th here from Red Wilson Field. It's 3-2 with YD in front of Falmouth. Bottom of the order coming up for the Commodores. John Spikerman faces off against Cal Stephen, who returns to the mound. The Purdue Boilermaker working from the windup. The first offering on the way. Bunt is squared. It's put down towards third. Stephen called off by a charging Darby. Sidearms to first, and it gets by. It got by Hunter Hines, and now it's being recovered over near the stands. Pulling into second safely, Spikerman works himself through what we'll have to check the scores decision on, maybe a bunt single. And they have adjusted the hit category on the scoreboard, so it looks like that's going to be a hit with an error moving him over to second. Steven wanted to get to that ball, and when he was right over top of it, Xander Darby called him off, and Steven whirled out of the way. And Darby threw on to first. Hunter Hines collided with the base runner trying to collect the ball, and that was why it got away. So now Nathan Humphrey in to hit with the tying run on second base. He squares to bunt, and he puts it up the third base line. Darby cleanly scoops and throws on to first for the out. Runner moves from second to third. And so it's a sacrifice for the Falmouth designated hitter. That one a lot more simple for Xander Darby, as that bunt was pushed pretty hard up the third base line. Didn't have to come in much of a ways. Runner just 90 feet away now for Gavin Keelan, who has one of now 4 Falmouth hits. YD brings the infield in with a 1-run lead in the top of the 5th. 1 out. Righty on lefty. Steven working from the stretch. First offering, sprayed foul on the left side.
Keelan lined it up the middle for his first hit. An interesting game plan. Out in the 5th, playing small ball, and now there's a runner in scoring position with just 1 out for the Commodores. Jeff Trundy's strategy working very well so far.
Upright stance from Keelan, looking to knock in a run in the lefty box. 0-1. Way outside, back pick to third is scooped off the dirt by Darby. No tag applied as the runner is back with a head first dive. And so It's 1 ball and 1 strike to Keelan, who the last time the Red Sox saw him was in the leadoff spot. Now he's in the 9-hole, the Louisville Cardinal. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball lifted out and towards left center field. Diving, the catch is made by Jenkins Coart. He fires on home with the runner tagging, but it is not in time. And it's a sac fly for Keelan, who now has a hit and an RBI in this game. We're tied at 3 in the 5th.
A beautiful play, however, from Jenkins Cowart out in left field. A sliding grab. A very highly ranked prospect out of East Carolina that YD fans and teammates alike have been waiting in anticipation for him to join the roster, but no throw from that distance was going to beat the runner tagging at third.
Hit deep enough out there and left to be a guaranteed run. Back to the top of the order, Joseph Redfield is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Steven with the bases empty deals the first pitch home, and it misses downstairs for ball 1. Steven looking to hold things together for his team as a catcher has now moved out towards the YD bullpen, and some pitchers are stirring around. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Maybe got a piece. Redfield will take a second to collect himself out of the box. It's a ball and a strike.
A big shift again on Redfield as YD all on the right side of second base.
1 ball and 1 strike. And the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 2 to the Sam Houston State Bearcat with an OPS over 1,000 during his college season. Middle infield again for YD flips with still 3 on the right side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Steven with a breath. Now the deal. Inside, sliding away from it. Redfield takes ball 2.
After batting .402 this season, Redfield was named to the American Baseball Coaches Association NCAA All-American third team.
2-2 on the way. Tipped foul and out of play, and count remains the same. Hit the ever elusive 100 hit mark this spring for Sam Houston. So had 56 RBIs. Hit .335 last summer playing in the West Coast League with Victoria. Stole 27 bases that year as well. The 2-2. Tipped foul and just out of the glove of Stafford. It's still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bases empty. We're tied at 3 as the 3 spot put up in the bottom of the first by YD has been erased over the course of the last 2 innings. Bases empty, 2 gone in the top of the 5th. The wind in the 2-2. Bounces in for ball 3, and Redfield has the count full.
Redfield's 100 hits were good for 7th in the nation. The Bearcats went 39-25 and won the Western Athletic Conference tournament in 2023.
Choked up slightly on the bat. Here's the payoff. Wrapped foul. Up to the right side, and we'll do it again. Hits even at 4, runs even at 3 in the top of the 5th inning. Righty out there warming up for YD. Steven has a nod on the mound. Long hold, now into the windup. 3-2. Twisted over right side. Scooped up with the breadbasket. Day fires along to first. And it's in time for the outside retire. Falmouth gets the tying run on the RBI sac fly from Gavin Keelan. And as we are officially halfway home from Red Wilson Field, it's 3-3 between the Commodores and the Red Sox. To the home half when we come back, you're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Last of the fifth here from Red Wilson Field. And it's a 3-3 deadlock between YD and Falmouth. Anthony Martinez leading off for the Red Sox. In his debut, he has walked in both of his plate appearances thus far. First pitch from Van Treek is fired foul on the right side. Someone in the bullpen, it looks like, caught that. Maybe on the fly for Falmouth. Bullpen and their outfield were going crazy. That's where the Falmouth bullpen is. 0-1 pitch. Taken just off the corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Logan Van Treek returning to the mound. This is the first time he's faced off against Anthony Martinez, whose last plate appearance came in the second against Montgomery. The pitch pulled the string, got a piece of it that swung and missed for strike 2. And Treek, member of the Lipscomb Bison, won the Atlantic Sun this year. The 1-2. Hit well, right center field, coming over Spikerman into the gap. This ball is kicked down by the wind into the glove of Redfield, who will make the catch in right for out number 1.
The sound off the bat made me think that ball would travel a lot farther than it actually did, instead just about the middle of that right field. That's really the first time we've seen Martinez swinging in his at-bats. Showed a lot of patience in those first 2, made some solid contact, but fouled. And now his first time out.
First pitch on the way misses low for Max Vieira, who is 1 for 2 with a single, a run scored, and a catcher pop. The 1-0, taken low and in for ball 2. Vieira, Seton Hall Pirates, swings a odd-looking bat. It's got a very thick knob to it that almost has double knob, 2-0. Lifted foul. And it seeks to kind of counterbalance the weight of the bat, so when you hold it on the very bottom, the barrel feels significantly lighter because of how much weight there is near the base. 2-1. Zipped low and away, 3 balls and a strike.
I wonder if it makes it harder to break the bat as well, because a custom bat like that would be a very expensive one to shatter, as we've seen so many bats do in just the early stages of the season so far.
3-1. Push the other way, foul. And it's 3-2. Mentioned that on the broadcast a couple of days ago. The teams do provide guys with a couple of bats, but a lot of guys don't use them for a variety of reasons. You pay for them yourself. 3-2. Misses down and in, ball 4. And it's a 1-out walk for Max Vieira to put him aboard for the second time. That brings in Hunter Hines, the Mississippi State Bulldog, who has driven in all 3 YD runs in this game. That came on a deep fly back in the first inning. Runner on first with 1 out in a 3-3 game. Bottom 5. Hines is 1 for 2. His last at-bat was a ground out to second. Modest lead over there on first. First pitch to Hines. Outside for ball 1. Van Treek, the pitcher on the mound for Falmouth, comes out of the stretch exclusively, but his delivery does look slightly different when there is a runner on base. Looks to be a little bit shorter. Lifts the knee and picks over to first. Vieira's back standing up. He comes out of the stretch with no runners on base as well, but takes his time a little more in his delivery. Lefty on lefty here with 1 out. The 1-0 pitch. Taken on the outside corner for strike 1. A slider that found the edge.
Vieira, already with 6 stolen bases early in this Cape League season, has been probably the Red Sox biggest threat on the base paths.
Look over there at him from Van Treek. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss. Pitch ducks underneath the bat of Hines, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Ryan Stafford, who's 2 for 2, waiting patiently in the on-deck circle. Last of the 5th inning here from Red Wilson Field. Bouncing the heel. It's a knee lift and another throw back to first from Van Treek. There will be no tag applied by first baseman Charlie Condon, the UGA Bulldog. 1 ball and 2 strikes to another man out of the SEC, Hunter Hines. Runner goes, the pitch, check swing, throw down to second's a good one, and it is in time. Vieira is gunned down and nearly overslid the bag as well on what was a pretty close play. Had he not been tagged initially, there was a chance he might have gotten tagged again, coming off the bag afterwards. Regardless, it's now a 2-2 count, as they said no swing on Hunter Hines, and the bases are empty with 2 outs.
It's the first time Vieira has been caught stealing so far.
The pitch popped a mile in the air, left side of the infield, now tracking towards the shallow outfield. Lavalette coming in, finds it with the leather, makes the catch for out number 3, side retired. So YD gets a 1-out base runner, but Logan Van Treek still faces the minimum in the bottom of the 5th, and we remain tied. It's 3-3 from Red Wilson Field between Falmouth and YD, and you're listening to Red Sox Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Tied up at 3 here in the top of the 6th inning. We got a new hill for YD. Jackson Roberts makes his debut for the Red Sox. 6'1", 190-pounder out of Greensboro, North Carolina. Plays collegiately for the Campbell Fighting Camels and comes in a 3-3 game to face the 2-3-4 in the Falmouth order. Kyle DeBarge at the plate facing the righty. The first pitch is a breaking ball framed in the outside corner for strike 1.
DeBarge is 1 for 2 on the day with a strikeout looking and a single in his last at-bat.
0-1 from the wind. Another breaking ball in the same spot for strike 2. Jackson Roberts with a 2.16 ERA this season for Campbell. 16 of his 17 appearances out of the pen. Comes in relief of Cal Steven, who threw 5 innings. 0-2 offering. Fastball away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Cal Steven goes 5 innings, gave up 3 runs, all earned off 4 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Now the 1-2. Hit up the middle, base hit. Just a liner that came directly back through the middle part of the infield, and DeBarge has his second hit. Falmouth off and going in the top of the 6th. Charlie Condon up to the dish now, trying to break an 0-for-2 start. Wiggling his bat, we get a pickoff move over to first. Beg your pardon that one of the runs from Cal Steven is unearned because of the error that came in the last inning, that tying run for the Commodores. Snap throw to first, and a tag is applied late.
Condon was a finalist for the Bobby Bragan National Collegiate Slugger Award. Not sure if that's been announced yet. He was named a finalist on June 9th.
First offering to him. breaks right down the heart of the plate for strike one. A lot of vertical movement on that off-speed pitch from Roberts, which he has resorted to often here early on. Lots of space up the right side of the infield for Condon, with second baseman Brady Day playing nearer to the bag. That is his opposite field, as he's a right-handed swinger. Runner goes, 0-1 pitch is high. Throw down to second is in time. It's another caught stealing, and Ryan Stafford guns a man down to wipe DeBarge off the base paths.
And that's the difference between Stafford and Will King, who's been at the plate the past few games in a row for the Red Sox. Stafford 2 for 2 today on steal attempts. King was consistently throwing behind the bag, even though he was doing so well in the lineup.
1-1 finds the outside half for strike two. And now the hitting approach rapidly changing for Charlie Condon, who no longer has a base runner and is in a 2-strike count. Red Sox bring 3 on the left side of the infield now for him. 1-2 pitch. Bounces away. Stafford scampers to it, and the count is even 2-2.
Stafford picked off 11 base stealers in the 2023 season.
From the wind, the 2-2. Here comes. Fastball just off the corner for ball 3. Jace Lavalette waiting in the on-deck circle. 3-3 game with 1 out in the top of the 6th. The payoff. Swing and a slow roller right of the mound. Coming over on it. It is barehanded from Roberts. He throws on to first wide. Hines comes off the bag, and the runner is safe.
It's an unfortunate error from Roberts that should have been just an easy underhand toss. Instead, he goes overhand and kind of just misses his grip on the ball. Almost went over the head of Hines. He jumped with a nice grab to prevent Condon from taking an extra bag.
They give him the base hit. Scott Pickler is out of the YD dugout and is not exceptionally happy with home plate umpire Jeffrey Merzell. Not quite sure what this is about, but there was some closeness when that ball was picked up between Roberts and the base runner Condon. Just due to the nature of where that ball was, it was near the baseline where he was running, but the two didn't really collide. Pickler heads back to the dugout. It is scored a hit for Condon. And now standing in, Jace Lavalette with a runner on first, 1 away. From the stretch, first pitch. Slides beautifully into the inside corner for strike 1. Lavalette 1 for 2. YD shading him towards the pull side in the infield and then towards the push side in the outfield, with Enzo Apodaca playing shadowed towards left, which is the opposite field to the left-handed swinger. 0-1 pitch. Bounced in the dirt, recovered quickly by Stafford with the bare hand to his left. No runner movement over there on first. One ball, 1 strike to Lavalette. Standing tall in the left-handed box. 1-1. Misses down low. Pump fake to first from Stafford, but no throw. And it's 2 balls and a strike to the Texas A&M Aggie.
Lavalette standing at 6'5" in that lefty batter's box.
2-1. Wrapped over right side. Hines waits on it. Missed it, but it luckily for him goes foul. That ball was spinning. Hines wanted to play it just to get the out, but the ball took a funky hop because it was side spinning and took it away from his glove. Luckily, he had everything that was in play covered, and when it got by him, the only thing to his left was foul territory. So it's a 2-2 count as Lavalette returns to the plate.
Hines walked that off as if that was on purpose. I'm not really sure it was, but we'll never know. It was foul regardless.
2-2 deal. Lifted foul. Count remains the same. Jackson Roberts pitching out of the stretch again. Has given up 2 singles, but does have an out thanks in part to his catcher, Ryan Stafford, who threw out Kyle Labarge trying to swipe second. 2-2 on the way. Swing and a miss, strike three. Brought it high and away, and Laviolette went chasing up and off the corner. And there's 2 outs now in the top of the 6th.
Just 35 strikeouts for Roberts in 137 batters faced this season. Had a 2.16 ERA in 17 appearances.
So Walker Yannick now digging in. The righty is 0 for 2. One-step lead over on first from Condon. First pitch is ripped left side through the gap in the infield, base hit. Condon holds up at second. It's a 2-out first pitch single from Walker Yannick. And Falmouth now threatening to take their first lead of the game. Ethan Gorson, the man being relied on for that.
Full name Ethan Gorson goes by Deuce over at UCLA. All the way from the West Coast, surprisingly not on the Red Sox, even though it feels like they've picked up every single batter, every single player from the West Coast. But Deuce Gorson now with runners in scoring position.
Takes the first pitch outside. Stafford got crossed up by it for ball 1. Wasn't exceptionally wild, but don't think Stafford thought that was the pitch that was coming. He fielded that in a really awkward position, and now he's going to trot out to the mound and go have a chat with his pitcher. Deuce Gorson at the plate, native of San Diego, California. Hit .319 this year for UCLA. All-conference team in the Pac-12. Future members of the Big Ten.
Pains me to hear that. As someone who attends a Big Ten institution, I personally feel very strongly about USC and UCLA joining the Big Ten, and not in a very positive way, but I will hold off on those opinions for now.
1-0 pitch. Finds the inside corner for strike 1. Lots more conference realignment drama over these last couple of days. Talked about on the broadcast a couple of days ago. UConn's potential movement to the Big 12 incoming. Also San Diego State putting out a formal request to leave the Mountain West. Movement all over the place. 1-1 pitch. Breaks just outside. That had a whole lot of vertical movement on it, but just didn't clip that outside corner of the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike to Gorson. First and second, 2 gone in the top of the 6th. 3-3 game. Deadlock, the pitch. Twisted foul pretty sharply on the right side, and the count is 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Righty on lefty with the glove along the left hip. Roberts eyes in on his battery mate Ryan Stafford. Looks at second. Now he pitches. Curveball in there for strike 3. Side retired in the 6th. Jackson Roberts gave up a few base hits, but it didn't matter. He gets out of the top of the 6th inning scoreless, and it remains a tie between Falmouth and YD. 3-3 our scores. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. You're listening to Red Sox Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. 3-3 bottom 6 here from Red Wilson Field. Luke West Poley joined by Perri Kitei alongside. YD trying to break this deadlock after losing a 3-0 lead that they had early on in this game. It's Ryan Stafford leading off for the Red Sox as the middle of the order comes up for YD. 5-6-7. First pitch to Stafford is bumped foul for strike one.
Stafford 2 for 2 on the day, 2 singles. Also 2 runners caught stealing from behind the plate. Quite the day so far for the Cal Poly Jr.
0-1. He watches it right down the middle for strike two. Very historic Cal Poly baseball program that he plays for collegiately. 5'10", 175-pound catcher. 0-2. Lined right side. That's going to drop into right field for a base hit. Takes a long turn around first, but Redfield quickly to it and right. And Stafford is 3 for 3.
It's no wonder Stafford was a second-team All-Big West selection. Batted .321 in the 2023 season, 3 for 3 here today. He's been the real bright spot for the Red Sox these past few innings. After that 3-hit and 3-run first, the Red Sox have been struggling a little bit at the plate.
Xander Darby digs back in. And the first pitch to him, he takes it on the outside corner for strike one. Corner infield was creeping in for Falmouth, suspecting a bunt for the 0 for 2 Darby, but he doesn't put it down. Falmouth pitching had gone through the entirety of the YD order other than Stafford up until a moment ago without giving up a hit. Stafford was the last hit for the Red Sox before that single. 0-1, finds the low part of the zone for strike two. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. Max Vieira did reach base in that span, but walked and was caught stealing. 0-2 to Darby, the pitch. Just tipped foul. Beat it into the ground there, and it just dribbled behind home plate. Still no balls and 2 strikes to Darby. Sophomore from Palo Alto, California. Another lefty in this lineup facing off against the left-hander Logan Van Treek. 0-2 deal. Outside for ball one.
That was the strikeout pitch from Van Treek, moving across the plate away from the batter, trying to make him bite, but Darby holds off.
Yannick again set up outside for this 1-2. Here it comes. Swing and a miss, strike three. Wasn't as far outside as that last pitch was, but it was a little bit lower, and Darby goes golfing at it for the first out of the inning. And that brings in Jacob Jenkins-Cohart, who's still trying to have that signature moment in his first game as a member of the Red Sox. This would be a good time to do it with YD and Falmouth tied at 3 in the bottom of the 6th.
Jenkins-Cohart batting a little lower in the lineup than he's used to.
First pitch home. Swings and misses outside the reach of his bat for strike one.
Spent most of his season at ECU batting in the 5 spot consistently. Hit for 12 doubles, a triple, and 9 home runs.
No balls, 1 strike. Get a pickoff move over to first. Plays for an ECU program that is kind of one of the quintessential baseball schools. You think of a school that is really known for baseball specifically. That's one of them. 0-1 pitch. Clips the outside corner for strike two. In the American Athletic, but baseball really far and away the best sport they have at ECU. Hosted a regional last season. Really, really passionate group of fans that they have. No balls, 2 strikes to Jenkins-Cohart. And the pitch slides outside. He takes for ball one.
If I could root for a team called the Pirates, I'd be a passionate fan, too.
Digs back into the left-handed box from the stretch. The 1-2. Taken outside again. He started to tweak his bat, but he held up, and it's 2-2. Sky has darkened, as has the field, significantly as we're here in the 6th. Last game that YD played when they walked it off a couple of nights ago, all the way into the ninth. 2-2. Misses downstairs for ball 3. Is going to say that game, it didn't end up coming to it, but according to the coaching staff, they were not going to play a 10th inning because of darkness. So had that game finished after 9 and a tie, it would have been a tie. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Jenkins Court with a runner on first. Runner takes off, swung on and missed, throw down to second, and they've got him in a rundown. Stafford runs back to first, tag is applied, and he's out. It's a strike him out, throw him out to face the minimum in the 6th for Falmouth, and we remain tied at 3 as we head to inning number 7. We will step aside here from Red Wilson Field. It's 3-3 our score here on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Stay tuned.
Back for the top of the 7th, just an hour and 40 minutes of game time so far. Things have gone quickly. It's tied 3-3 here at Red Wilson Field, and there's a new pitcher on the bump for the Red Sox. It's Blake Ida making his 3rd appearance out of the bullpen for the Red Sox this season.
Kennesaw State Owl comes in a pretty important spot. Had a delay. Looks like they might be changing a glove for Ida. So he switches gloves. He had a looked like blue-gray looking glove, and now he switches to a leather-colored glove. But regardless, he's been a guy who's been rock solid for YD out of the bullpen so far this season.
No earned runs in 2 appearances, 1.1 innings of work, and he faces John Spikerman in the 7th spot for the Commodores. Spikerman, the Sooner, hitting .270 so far. He takes ball 1 low on the outside. It's just Xander Darby in the infield, waiting on that possible surprise bunt attempt that we've already seen from Falmouth today. Instead, ball 3 sails high, and Spikerman's facing a 3-0 count. Ida finally finds the zone for fouled back, out of play, full count. The Payoff pitch. Sneaks inside for a called strike 3. Jeffrey Merzel, our home plate umpire, gave it a beat for dramatic effect, but Blake Ida battles back from a 3-0 count for a called strikeout, his first of the day.
That was a beautiful backdoor breaking pitch. And if you're throwing that on 3-2, that means you have a lot of confidence in it. Ida just snuck it in there.
Misses low to start off the count for Nathan Humphreys. The Dallas Baptist Jr. This time a nearly identical pitch, just a few inches above. Fine strike 1.
Talked about East Carolina being a baseball school. Dallas Baptist, very much a baseball school. That's their only D1 sport.
Huge cut and miss for strike 2. Humphreys batted .351 this season through 53 games played, slugged .644. Exactly 30 extra base hits on the season. Counts even, 2-2, 1 out. In the top of the 7th, things are tied 3-3. Ida shakes one off. Pitch on the way. Swung through and missed. Strikeout number 2. 2 up, 2 down. Ida sends them both back to the dugout. And it's Gavin Keelan in the 9th spot, strutting up to the lefty batter's box. Keelan, a 1-for-1, also has a sac fly. And watches strike 1 down the pipe. 7 hits for the Commodores, 5 hits for the Red Sox. And this one's lined towards right field, and it drops in front of Casey Cook. Another base hit for Gavin Keelan.
Keelan has been really, really strong. This is similar to what we saw from Michael Eze in the first meeting between these two teams, where he's been that real bright spot in the lineup for Falmouth. Right from the start, the rest of the team now has kind of picked up the weight as well through these middle innings as they've got it tied. But Keelan was ready right from the beginning of this game.
Joseph Redfield, the leadoff batter, takes ball 1. Keelan has been attacking so early in these at-bats. That's his 2nd hit off the first pitch of the at-bat. Big lead from him, taunting Ida. Runner goes, ball's in the dirt, throws on the way. And the ball gets away from Max Vieira. The tag was put on in time, but the ball fell out of the glove. So Keelan safe on 2nd after that ball bounced in the dirt in front of Stafford. Heads up base running from Keelan puts a runner in scoring position.
Man, Stafford's got a cannon. He had no business making that play even look close, and had the runner hung out to dry, just couldn't get the hold on the baseball.
Another big lead from Keelan over at 2nd. And a balk, the first we've seen. The runner will advance. So without a pitch being thrown, Gavin Keelan has advanced 2 bases.
Now you really got to right the ship here if you're YD. You don't want to pay too much for that mistake dropping the ball.
Ida, fastball, finds the zone, strike 1. Counts 2-1 to Redfield, 2 outs, top of the 7th. Red Sox trying to avoid facing a deficit for the first time in the game. Redfield chops it up towards 2nd. Day charging it, makes the play over to Hines at 1st, and we head to the 7th inning stretch. Things are still tied up here at Red Wilson Field. It's Perri Kitei and Luke West Poley. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. back for the bottom of the 7th. Brady Day headed up to the plate. He faces a new pitcher. It's Rio Britton on the mound for the Commodores. He will face 8-9-1 for the Red Sox.
Rio Britton, NC State player this past season after 2 years at Oregon. This is his first appearance of the season for Falmouth. Just got activated.
The shift is on for Day on the right side of the infield as strike one finds the outside corner.
Fastball sits in the low to mid 90s for Britton out of the left side and has a slider that's in the mid 80s.
Ball one is a wild pitch, gets past Yannick, but no harm done, no runners aboard. Day, the first batter of the side. Counts 1-1. Ball two misses low. There is a massive gap in the 5-6 hole right now that Day could take advantage of. Chops it up the middle instead. DeBarge is there, and the shift works perfectly. That would have been a base hit if the shift was not in play. Instead, Day retired for out number one.
Pinch hitter coming up for YD. And they're going to bring in Jacob Christian, and he's going to hit for Enzo Apodaca.
Christian, a power hitter. Apodaca, not so much. He's the D2 Player of the Year at a Point Loma Nazarene University out in California. Strike one, fouled back out of play. Counts 1-1. It's a righty on righty matchup. Also a matchup with a lot of height. Britton at 6'3", Christian at 6'5". Takes strike two. No runners aboard, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out for the Red Sox in the bottom of the 7th, where things are tied 3-3. Just 5 hits for the Red Sox, who have had 12 at least in their last 4 games. This one hammered out towards left, and it drops in between 3 different Commodores. So the pinch hitter works perfectly. Jacob Christian aboard first, brings back the top of the lineup with Casey Cook, the Tar Heel.
Next up, out of UNC Chapel Hill, number 16.
I think he broke his bat. That ball was really loud off the barrel, but did not travel exceptionally far. I think that it's just one of those broken bat bloopers for Christian, but you'll take it to flip the lineup over here for YD.
Cook on the ground towards second. Could be a double play opportunity. Christian out at second, no play over to first, so Cook reaches on the fielder's choice, essentially replacing Christian on first base. Now 2 outs for Anthony Martinez.
Number 33, Anthony Martinez.
Martinez flies it. It's absolutely skied towards center field. The catch is made. That ends the inning. We head to the top of the 8th. Things still tied. It's been 3-3 since the 5th. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Kyle DeBarge strides up to bat for the Commodores in the top of the 8th. Things are tied 3-3 at Red Wilson Field as we approach 6:45 p.m. and 2 hours of game time. DeBarge watches strike one down the middle from Blake Ida, back for his second inning of work. DeBarge was thrown out on base, I believe, in his last time. This time offers and goes around for strike 2. Slider outside from Ida for ball 1. A pair of strikeouts on the day already for the righty hurler. The 1-2 on the way, ground back up towards Ida. He jogs over to first, flips it to Hunter Hines, and that's out number 1.
Dugout's going crazy for Ida making that play. It's been a bit of a rough go today for YD pitchers relating to fielding the baseball. So good to see them get one when it matters here in the late innings.
Charlie Condon, the Georgia Bulldog, back. He had a prolific year at Georgia. He batted about .340 in league play, which in the SEC is not easy to do. At one point, he had a 37-game on-base streak. And quickly up in a 3-0 count. Strike 1 in there to extend the at-bat. Condon bats in the 3 spot. Bases are empty, 3 balls, 1 strike, and this one misses low for ball 4, so Condon will take a base, and the Commodores have a base runner here in the top of the 8th. Jace LaViolet, the lefty. Texas A&M Aggie is 1 for 3 on the day, has a single, a strikeout swinging, and a dropped 3rd strike. Strike 1 misses, or ball 1 misses just inside. Condon a small lead on first. He has 1 stolen base on the season already in the Cape. The 1-0 hit sharply foul up the first baseline. Ida stretching out, adjusting his jersey, checks his runner. The signs come from Stafford standing up. Counts 1-1. Pitch on the way. Swoops low, ball 2. The stands are still packed as we approach the end of this game. The infield backed up to the grass. This one hammered towards center. It's going to drop. That's a base hit. Condon rounds second, but's held up. And a walk and a hit puts a runner in scoring position. Runners on first and second for the Commodores with 1 out as they look to take their first lead of the game. That hit was somewhere between a bloop single and a line drive, but drops right in the middle of that left center gap. Yannick's first pitch is hit foul. Pretty hard out towards right field. Yannick is 1 for 3 on the day. The shift is on for him. And Brady Day all the way up behind second base. This one is hit very hard out towards left field, going back to the wall. Underneath it is Jacob Christian, makes the grab. The runner's trying to advance, throw on the way, is not in time. So Condon tags, makes it to third. LaViolette held up at first. And 2 outs for the Red Sox.
Yeah, runner moves to third base, but if you're YD, I think you're okay with that after how that looked off the bat. That ball was blasted. I was really surprised when I saw Jenkins Cohort slowing down before he got to the wall. I was almost sure coming off the bat that that thing was going to be out, but YD catches a break, and with no real wind help blowing it out there towards left field, chance to get out of this inning here for Blake Ida.
I thought that ball was absolutely gone, Luke.
It's hitting the general direction of the scoreboard. It really looked like a no-doubt home run.
Deuce Gorson, the Bruin, trying to put his team ahead. Runners on the corners, counts 1-0. And the off speed finds the zone, counts even. Infield shaded towards the batter's side. And the ball gets past. LaViolette advances to second, but Condon holds up at third. Dangerous moment for YD, but Stafford managed to run that one down quickly. Counts 2-1, runners on second and third. 2 outs, top of the 8th, tie ball game. Pitch on the way. Just misses low, ball 3. Ida has a base to give on first. A walk is not the end of the world here, but it will bring up John Spikerman. The 3-1. In there, and the count runs full. Falmouth would hate to leave 2 runners stranded in scoring position, but Ida could do that here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 8th inning. Pitch on the way. Ripped foul, out of play.
I really, really like that location. If I'm Blake Ida, he's got that pitch with sweeping action to it that he's trying to put in the back door of the zone. Did it that time, but Gorson did a nice job with a late defensive swing to get bat on ball. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to go right back to it here.
Swing and a miss, sends him back to the dugout. Blake Ida works his way out of the jam. No run score in the top of the 8th. And YD will go 3-4-5 in the heart of their lineup in the bottom of the 8th. When we come back, it's Perri Kitei and Luke West Poley. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Bottom of the 8th at Red Wilson Field, and Max Vieira's up to bat on deck. Hunter Hines, who is responsible for all 3 of YD's runs with a 3-run blast in the first inning. YD has not put a run on the board since, but things are still tied 3-3 here in the bottom of the 8th. Game time just past 2 hours. We're at 2:07. And Rio Britton deals a first pitch strike. Vieira, big swing and a miss. Vieira coming into this game second on the Red Sox in batting average at .444. A curveball with a ton of vertical movement finds the zone outside for strike 2. Beautiful pitch from Rio Britton. Oh-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss from Max Vieira. He goes down. Strikeout for Britton. 1 out for the Red Sox.
Next up, out of Mississippi State,
See with
44, Hunter.
no runners on, what kind of approach Hines goes with. In this spot, you just want to get some base runners, see if you can string some stuff together, but Hines certainly has the pop to change this game with one swing.
Hines, a home run, a ground out, and a fly out. Take strike 1 inside. Makes a few circles with his bat, settles into his stance, pitch on the way. Check swing, did not go, ball 1. Commodores at the edge of the outfield grass. Hines flies it a mile in the air. It's heading towards foul territory, but there might be a play on it. And it clears the bleachers. Luckily for Hines, he'll stay alive. There's so much space in foul territory here at Red Wilson Field. We've seen some unbelievable plays. If the ball is high enough in the air, we've seen them go about the length of a base path to make a play in foul territory. Counts 1 and 2 now to Hines. Britton deals. Curveball finds the zone. Strike 3 looking. Hines started walking away even before the strikeout was called. He knew it immediately.
Yeah,
That curveball is just an amazing pitch from Britton.
That was a knee buckler. It was over his head almost, and it ended up basically right down the middle of the zone. That's a pitch where you watch it go by and just kind of sigh. That's a tough one.
So 2 outs quickly in the bottom of the 8th. It's Ryan Stafford, who's 3 for 3 on the day with 3 singles. Xander Darby, the third baseman, on deck if it gets there. Counts 1 and 1. Stafford responsible for half of YD's hits as a team today. Almost hits him, just avoids it for ball 2. The 2-1. Curveball again finds the zone, strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, tie ball game at Red Wilson Field as the sky continues to darken. Pitch on the way. Check swing. And he went around. Home plate umpire Jeffrey Merzel sends him back to the dugout. A 1-2-3 inning for Rio Britton, and we're headed to the top of the 9th. It's 3-3 here at Red Wilson Field on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Top of the ninth, Ida back on the bump. Things are still tied 3-3 here at Red Wilson Field. 10 hits for the Commodores, 6 hits and an error for the Red Sox. They only have one game this season without an error recorded. It's John Spikerman at the plate for the Commodores. The Oklahoma Sooner. Batted .270 this past season, .317 in 2022 as a freshman. Fouls it off Stafford's head for strike 2, counts 1-2. Spikerman had a bunt single earlier in the game where there was a bit of communication between the pitcher at the time, Cal Steven, third baseman Xander Darby. Darby ended up taking it, and the throw was not in time. Spikerman advanced to second on the overthrow. The 2-2 slides into the zone, called strike 3. Ida, 4th strikeout of the day. Back to Nathan Humphries, the designated hitter for the day. Swings at the first pitch. It's a deep ball to center field, but Jacob Jenkins-Coher is right there, makes the grab. 2 outs very quickly here in the top of the ninth for the Red Sox. We saw them walk it off in their last game on Friday. Could be another opportunity to do so here tonight. Gavin Keelan back at the plate. He had a single in his last at-bat, but holds off on the fastball from Ida, counts 1-1. Keelan, the Louisville Cardinal, just finished up his freshman year, native of Milton, Wisconsin. Chops this one up towards second, Day charging in. The throw is made, and that's 3 up, 3 down for the Red Sox as we head to the bottom of the ninth. It's been a tie ball game since the 5th. It's a tie ball game in the bottom of the ninth. The Red Sox with an opportunity to walk it off. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Bottom of the ninth, tied 3-3, and it's not Xander Darby who is 0 for 3 coming to the plate. Instead, Will King, batting .500 on the season, leads the Red Sox, possibly the clutchest hitter I have ever seen, and has done so incredibly in pinch hitting situations, late game situations, has yet to record an out, only hits. And he's up here for the first time tonight. His first game in quite a few where he wasn't in the starting lineup. But I am not surprised in the slightest to see him here right now, fouled off the first pitch for strike one. This one lined out towards left field, but coming onto it is Lavalette. A hard hit ball, but couldn't find the gap, and Will King retired for out number one. As always, making the contact this time. Couldn't find the ground as he has in the past. It's Jacob Jenkins-Cowart, the left fielder who's now been moved to center, coming back to the lefty batter's box. If this goes to extra innings and is not canceled because of darkness, the 10th will start with a runner on second.
That's also the only extra inning that gets played in the Cape League. After 10 innings, it's a tie if there is no decisive run.
Cowart, his bat level with the ground. Takes 2 balls in a row.
Green light has to be on for Jenkins-Cowart here. If you get a good pitch now that you're ahead in the count, you swing as hard as you can.
The All-AAC first-teamer swings and drives this one up the middle. That's a base hit. Takes a little bit of a round around first. No threat to advance, but Jacob Cowart crushes it up the middle. Brady Day 0 for 3. It's his 4th time around. Wouldn't be surprised to see Coach Pickler go to small ball here to advance the runner, especially with Christian now in that 9 spot. But Day holds off in his stance, takes ball 1. The infield shaded away from the batter. And the sun comes out for the first time today. Bunt squares, pulls back, strike 1. With the sun coming out now, it's certainly bright enough to play an extra inning.
Definitely.
Britton checks his runner, the 1-1 pitch on the way. Day swings through late, strike 2. It's like he realized it was a strike as he saw it cross the plate and tried to get a piece of it, but could not. Jenkins-Cowart, solid lead on first. Checked by Britton, the lefty. Pitch on the way. Day holds off, past ball. Cowart slides into second, diving safely. And the Red Sox have a runner in scoring position. With Jacob Christian on deck, he was the hitter of the walk-off just 2 days ago. Counts 2-2 to Brady Day.
Need a ball in play here. With the force taken out, it's okay if you hit a ground ball.
No double play situation. Day flies it into foul territory.
It's a good defensive swing. Just didn't try to do too much with it. It wasn't a good pitch to hit. It was creeping towards the corner. Just throw your barrel at it and throw it into the parking lot.
Jenkins-Cowart, a big lead on second. Britton not even looking back at him. Now he does. Back towards the runner, pitch on the way. Day holds off inside and the count runs full. Still a packed crowd anxiously awaiting this bottom of the ninth. Things are tied 3-3. YD with a runner in scoring position. Brady Day at the plate with a full count. Payoff pitch. inside, ball 4, ball gets passed as well. The throw down to third is in time, and Jenkins Cohort, a base running mistake. He saw the ball hit the ground, but he reacted late, tried to take third, and Yannick recovered quickly, had him by a mile on the throw down to third. A grave mistake for the Red Sox as Day takes first on the walk instead of holding off. Now there's 2 outs with Jacob Christian up to bat. Ball 1 in the dirt. Christian has a home run himself. He was the first Red Sox batter of the season to hit one. Britton checks the runner, deals. Christian holds off, ball 2. Christian's batting in the 9 spot, could flip things over to Casey Cook, who has not had a good day at the plate. Small lead from Day. Christian flies this a mile into the air in foul territory, going over to the Falmouth dugout and just out of play. I hope that didn't hit anyone in the head. There was a lot of people in the area. But Jacob Christian lives to see another day. That's strike 1.
And similar to the last Whitey walk-off, ball that was hit up in the air nearly ends the inning, but it just escapes the reaches of foul territory.
Christian winds his bat a few times, now in his stance. The 2-1, inside again, ball 3. The crowd is almost silent here at Red Wilson. Counts 3-1 to Christian. Runner on first. Britton deals. Christian flies it, foul again, full count.
It's a good pitch, just a little bit early. And now you get a head start here with the pitch if you're Day. It's going to take off as soon as Britton delivers. Ball in the gap, could win it.
Instead, it almost hits him. That's ball 4. 2 runners aboard now for the Red Sox with Casey Cook, the leadoff batter, coming up to bat.
Yeah, that's tough for Falmouth and for Britton. You think that if the runner in Jenkins Court was safe over there on third and you had runners on the corners, you'd maybe have room to pitch around Jacob Christian a little bit, or maybe even intentionally walk him if you wanted to go that extreme. But with the runner put out at third, you don't want to move Brady Day into scoring position, which is what he did. Now a single could win the game for YD.
Cook takes ball 1. He's reached once today on a fielder's choice. Other than that, a ground out and a fly out.
So righty warming, an emergency situation for Falmouth.
Britton deals. Cook on the ground up towards second, but the runner slides in time. And now Day is caught in a rundown at third, heading back to third. There is almost no way that Brady Day doesn't get out in this situation. He's still in the rundown and is finally tagged. Another base running mistake. Jacob Christian slid in safely at second base. Day advanced to third. On the play at second, Day for some reason took too big of a turn, came around, and instead of bases loaded with Anthony Martinez at the bat, the inning is over and we head to extras for the first time this season. It's 3-3 between the Red Sox and the Commodores. It's Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Top of the 10th at Red Wilson Field. It's the first time we can say that this season. Almost to celebrate, Joseph Redfield up to bat. It's like he's named after the field.
Falmouth has played an extra innings game this year, but it was a tie.
So there is a base runner to start on second. I can't tell who it is.
It's going to be Gavin Keelan, unless they pinch ran for him.
Redfield squared to bunt, pulled back, ball 1.
Interesting. That's a big debate as this international rule with the runner on second has made its way into the MLB is do you bunt the runner over, especially when you're coming to the plate in the top of the inning and you're not trying to walk it off.
(1-0) on the way, squares to bunt. This time lays it down. Ida makes the play over to first. Runner does advance. So Keelan on third, 1 out. Ida back for his 4th inning of work today. This is his 3rd relief appearance for the Red Sox. Ball 1 inside to Kyle DeBarge. Flies this one out towards center. It's deep. And Keelan tags and scores. The throw was almost in time. A gun from Jenkins' cohort out in center field. But Stafford couldn't collect regardless. The ball passed him in the backstop. So the Commodores take the lead. It's 4-3.
That's the textbook how you drew it up with that runner on second. Bunt him to third, get him home on the sac fly. That's the exact strategy you go for when you elect to bunt.
Charlie Condon, the 3-hitter, takes strike 1. Counts even, 1-1, 2 outs. Commodores lead 4-3. Condon ropes it foul, third baseline.
And now I'm interested to see how YD plays it, where it's a situation of do you play for the tie and try to bunt that tying run over from second to third, or do you just go swinging early in the inning?
Outside ball 2, count even, 2-2. Well, YD does have the heart of their lineup coming up to the plate. It'll be Martinez, Vieira, and Hines. This one lined up to center field, and it drops. That's a base hit. Charlie Condon, another runner aboard for the Commodores. Jace Lavalette, the lefty, 2 for 4 on the day with 2 singles, 2 strikeouts. He faced Ida in his last at-bat. And takes a nice-looking strike from Ida. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Falmouth leads 4-3 in the top of the 10th inning at Red Wilson Field. The sun is still shining. This one popped up into left field, heading towards foul territory, reaches the YD bullpen with no play on it. So Lavalette down now, 0-2. Walker Yannick, the catcher, on deck. small lead from Condon at first. Ball one misses just outside on fastball. Righty pitcher, lefty batter. Ball two.
He's trying to see if he could steal a strike, I think. Trying to sneak something in the outside part of the plate. Has just missed his spot.
And ball three misses low. This has gone from 0-2 to a full count. With 2 outs, Condon will be going on the pitch from first. Regular setup for the infield on the edge of the grass. Ida winds and deals. Fouled back into the fence. Lavalette takes off his helmet, readjusts. Condon back on first. He readies to face the 6th pitch of this at-bat. Ida checks the runners. Deals. Fouled off again, this time into that left side foul territory. Lavalette keeping everyone on their toes here, as YD will come back to the plate facing a deficit. The question is, by how much? Ida misses inside and walks him. 2 runners aboard now for the Commodores. That pitch was so close. Really could have been called either way, but just missed on the inside corner. So Lavalette walks, and Yannick up to bat.
This is dangerous territory to be in extra innings. That's now back-to-back 2-strike counts with 2 outs here in the 10th that Ida's come out on the short end of.
There is some action in the YD bullpen just starting up. Yannick swings at the first one. It's over to Darby on third, taps the bag, and that will be the inning. It's 4-3 Commodores as we head to the bottom of the 10th. It's the last chance for YD looking to repeat their walk-off victory from Friday. We'll have the action for you when we come back on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Bottom of the 10th, the last chance for the Red Sox. They trail 4-3. And the way it works is the last batter who is up, that's Casey Cook, starts the inning off on second. Anthony Martinez, the DH for today, batting in the 2 spot, is at the plate. On deck, Max Vieira and Hunter Hines, 2 of the Red Sox best hitters through the season so far. The sun back behind the clouds. New pitcher, Paul Bonzani, out of Southern Illinois, deals a first pitch ball. Bonzani checks the runner. Solid lead from Cook on second. Martinez flies this one into foul territory, out of play. The kids chasing after that. This is Martinez's first appearance for the Red Sox. He was just activated today. Plays at UC Irvine. Hammers it towards center on a line, but John Spikerman is there. Cook almost decides to advance, but the gun from Spikerman would have beat him out by a mile. Cook realized it, snuck back to the bag, wasn't looking for a repeat of last inning's base running mistakes. So Cook held up and Martinez out. Brings up Max Vieira.
That's a tough one for Martinez, looking for his first hit. That ball was hammered on a line, but just hit it right at Spikerman, and it looked like Cook initially thought he was going to bluff and then maybe thought, let me take this all the way. The throw was wide. He probably would have been safe, but there really is no way of knowing that, so I think a good decision to go back to second.
Vieira takes a first pitch breaking ball for a strike. Infield in shadow, outfield in the sun. Bonzani nods, checks the runner, no one covering second. Broken bat in the air towards second, caught by DeBarge, the shortstop. And that's 2 outs quickly. Unfortunate for Vieira. You could hear the crack. So Hunter Hines with a 3 RBI home run in the first inning is at the plate.
Yeah, we're going to see a pinch runner coming out, I believe, here for YD.
And that's Nick Mitchell, who leads YD in stolen bases for the 2023 season. Nick Mitchell. Pass ball, Mitchell advances to third. Ball 1 to Hines. That pitch just bounced in the dirt, out of Yannick's control. 1-0 count to Hunter Hines, the power hitter, first team All-SEC DH. Takes ball 2 below the zone. Has been impressively patient at the plate. Has walked a couple times. But a big swing and a miss for strike 2. Strike 1. Counts 2-1 at 2 outs, bottom of the 10th. Runner on third. This is the last chance for the YD Red Sox. And Hines puts it on the ground out towards short, throw on the way. Hines beats him out. The game is tied. Hunter Hines, not the fastest on the team, but put that ball so deep towards shortstop that even the throw from DeBarge could not bounce in time. Hunter Hines plays hero once again.
How about the big man legging out the infield single, and now, as you would expect, we're going to see another pinch runner coming over here for Hunter Hines on first base. Mitch Voigt will run for him on first. Mentioned this during the break when we were off air, but there's a lot of room here in the bottom of the 10th and the tie being in effect where there's not going to be an 11th inning to really aggressively make subs, and Scott Pickler's taking full advantage.
It's Ryan Stafford at the plate. It's 3 for 4 on the day with 3 singles and a strikeout looking.
See if Scott Pickler's got the guts to send Mitch Voigt here at some point in this at-bat.
Check swing, doesn't go. Counts even, 1-1. 2 outs. The game is tied at 4. If the inning is over, the game will end in a tie. YD with 1 more out to walk it off. Fouled out of play. Strike 2.
Infield's guarding the lines here for Falmouth. You're okay with taking a base hit here. Nothing of the extra base variety. You do not want a 2-bagger with a chance to send that runner home.
The 1-2 pitch. And Stafford goes down swinging. That ends the game. It's the first tie of the season for the Red Sox, who end their 4-game win streak, but without a loss in that category. So YD moves to 5-2-1, 4-2-1. They're on the road tomorrow, heading to Orleans for that first matchup. The series with the Commodores now stands at 1-0-1 for the Red Sox. Luke, today was not the best hitting day up and down the lineup for YD. Certainly not to the level that we've seen in the past few games. Falmouth's pitching really held them up today.
Yeah, Falmouth's pitching did a really, really good job. They gave up that blast from Hunter Hines in the first inning, but after that, no earned runs. They gave up, of course, the unearned run off the inherited runner here in extra innings, but I thought Falmouth's pitching was really solid, especially through the middle innings of this game where they really kept a lot of that action off of the bases. Both catchers were phenomenal in this game as well. You know, the ties obviously kind of leave a poor taste in both teams' mouths, where for Falmouth, you're thinking that, you know, you went into the bottom of the 10th with a lead and a chance to win this game. You had that runner on third with 2 outs and still had the lead. You gave up an infield single, just kind of an unfortunate break for the Commodores. And for YD, I think you're just going to harp on that 9th inning and those base running errors that you saw. 2 guys thrown out on the base paths, one going to third, one turning around third. Both of those guys would have been the winning run with a chance to walk things off. So I think the Red Sox aren't going to be super pleased with that. It does end the win streak. You do limit the damage, though, and it just being a tie. You battled back in the 10th inning, which I think is good. And I think Scott Pickler's club will look for a nice rebound tomorrow on the road against a new opponent that they'll see for the first time this season at a new site as well at Aldridge Park in Orleans.
So to clean things up here, 11 hits, 4 runs for the Commodores, 8 hits, 4 runs, and an error for the Red Sox. We end things tied on the road tomorrow to Orleans. Thank you for listening. It's been Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley from our producer Anna Tedeschi on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network.
Cool.